All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. It's already 5 till. We'll go ahead and get started. So those of you that do have the handouts, we'll start with the first one called the locator card. We'll click on that one. And it is wrong because I've got it drawn wrong. Well, I don't have it drawn wrong, but this little area right in here is not correct. I went outside thinking that I had a few minutes to eat, and that's not correct. So on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, where's the Epson? Hold on a second. It's usually not this bad, I'm sorry. It's the Russians. It's all the Russians' fault. There we go. All right. So as you can see, this area right in here shows me being open, but that's not true. That's to mark that out because all these classes right here are back to back. So you need to mark this out as not office hours because pretty much they don't exist. I go from 8 to 9:30, 9:30 to 11, 11 to 12:30, and then I pick y'all up at 12:45 till about 2 o'clock. So I don't have any break on those days. So I need you to put an X through that 10 to 11 o'clock hour. The rest of them look pretty accurate. Okay? So there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So that's my office hours, and that tells you when I'm what? In my office. Now, honestly, I'm not in my office a good bit. I'm usually around this campus. All right. Most of the time, I'm in the classroom, or I sit in the classroom that I just got finished in, or I go to the classroom that I'm going to have class in. So if it's not being used, if it's being used, then I go to my office. Okay. So I'm just letting you know that in case you ever need to find me. Hopefully you won't need me too much, but if you do need me, I'm usually in the classroom or the office. The best way to contact me is to text me, and that's why instead of my office phone, I put my cell phone. Because that is the best way to contact me, because I do not like to have to chase emails, and I don't like to have to, do the phone thing with the voicemail. So I try to tell people to send me, and that's kind of an emergency. Let's say that you miss a test or you're going to be out a week or whatever the case may be. Just send me a text and say, I'm going to be out a week. Or, if you are coming up here from Iowa or Star, or you need me to answer some questions, just send me a text and say, are you on the Anderson campus? That's what the text, or that's what it's for. All right? And you as well as I know that when you send an email, I may not get it 5 or 6 minutes, or it may be 15 minutes. So, if it's an email that needs to be real time, the best thing to do is contact me via text message or cell phone. All right? Use a little bit of common sense. Drunk voicemails are funny, but, they do get, they're funny. I will say they're funny. But don't call me if you're in jail, okay? So, y'all up there in Oconee, y'all get pretty wild up there, so don't get thrown in jail, all right? I'm just giving y'all a hard time. Y'all so quiet. How's the new campus look?
Good. It's nice.
Where is it?
It's off of Highway 11.
Is it right when I get into Seneca, or right when you get into, right there near the Blue Ridge place, or what?
It's headed towards Walhalla. Yeah, it's between Westminster and Walhalla.
Oh, okay. I know where. Oh, on Highway 11.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not where I'm thinking it is. Okay. I know where you're talking about now. I got a good friend that had a dentist office in Westminster and or Walhalla, and he lives in Westminster right there near Westo, and has a farm out there. I'll shut up. All right. There's that. All right, now forwarding. Okay. This is a little bit of information that not a lot of students get, and you might want to print it out. It's how to send your email to your phone. Okay? And this is 100% optional. The only reason I share it with students is because a lot of students don't even know about it. And you can actually send your email from Tri-County Tech to your phone, and therefore you don't have to log on and do all that other stuff. It just sends it to your phone, and you can set your notifications to where you don't hear it, or you can blow your phone up with notifications if you want to. That's up to you. But that's just a little bit for your information. Next thing is a little bit about me. Now, a lot of people say, well, you're conceited. No, that's not what I put it up here for. There's 2 or 3 reasons I put this on the board. Okay? One reason is I used to do a drill with index cards, and I used to ask people to write things down about them, and I would write things about me because I don't think it's right to ask students to write about themselves when the teacher doesn't. That's one reason. Well, I quit doing that, but I kept doing this, and the second reason is, how many of you have ever been in a classroom and sat through a 1-hour presentation the first day and walked out and didn't know who your instructor was? How many times does that happen? Huh?
It happened to me many times.
Okay, I don't want that. That sets up an uncomfortable environment. It sets up a frigid environment. I'm not frigid at all, okay? I am very interactive, all right? So I make sure that when you walk out of my classroom, you know who I am, you know a little bit about me, and you know how to get in contact with me. Because I think the squeaky door gets the grease. If you don't say anything to me, if you're not approachable, if you don't want to come to me, then I'm not going to know if you got a question or not. Okay? So y'all settle down up there in Oconee. Y'all getting a little bit too loud. All right. So how do you get in contact with me? My cell phone is number 1 on the list for one reason, and that's because that's the best way to contact me. Now, I'm not meaning for you to contact me every time your dog gets sick, or every time the cat dies, or every time you have 5 flat tires, or, that's not what I want. The reason I give you my cell number is because this last semester, and I've been giving everybody cell numbers since 1997. I mean, when I first started, I was giving out cell numbers as an adjunct. Okay, and people say, you better not do that, you better not do that. Well, I've been doing it ever since. And the reason I do that is because some students, when they have that avenue of communication, some students latch onto it. Okay? Some students don't. Some students are like, oh, well, I don't want to bother him. You're not going to bother me if you text me. Now, if you call me like 5 times and you blow my phone up, that's bothering. Okay? But if you just send a text or say, I've had a family tragedy or I've had a family accident, I'm not going to be in class next week, I'm going to Skype in or I'm going to just watch the videos. That's all I need to know. Now, how do you discern whether you should send an email? If it affects what? Your grade. If it affects your grade, then you need to send me an email. What do you mean? Well, if you're going to be out a week because you've had a family accident, yes, you need to let me know. You don't need to go into details, TMI. I don't need to know everything. All right? What if you have an accident? Again, somebody needs to let me know. What if you missed the test and it was a very, very good reason? You need to let me know so I can reset it. Okay? So I can let you, but I'm not going to do that very often. You got a whole week to take a test. I mean, come on. Not many people missed my test. But the reason I did this, and I'm going over this again, is because this last semester I had a student that called me and said, emailed me and said, Hubert, I don't understand how I made a D in your class. And I looked over her grades, and she missed 2 unit tests. 2 out of 4. You with me? 2 out of 4. Now, first of all, I give an online test, and you got a week to take it. For those of you who don't know what a week is, that's 7 days. That's 7 times 24 hours. How do you miss a test when it's a week to take it? That's what my department head said. And I said, I don't know. Well, she said, well, I tried to email Hubert and I couldn't get a hold of him. Okay, first of all, how do you miss a test that's given in 7 days? And second of all, just because you email me does not necessarily mean that I got it. Okay? Most of the time I get it. But if it's something important, okay? What did you say your name was? Black hair, I'm sorry.
Me?
Yes.
Sarah.
Sarah, last name?
Johnson.
Miss Johnson. Miss Johnson, do you work somewhere?
I do.
Where do you work? Just curious.
I clean houses.
Okay, well, you don't count. Let's say if you worked at Jacob's Chuck, all right, in Clemson, all right, and you worked at Jacob's Chuck, and that was your only livelihood, okay? The reason I said the other one, because you kind of work for yourself, or do you work for yourself?
I work with a business.
Okay, so you do work with a business. Okay, let me ask you this. If you are going to be out for 2 weeks, don't you want to make sure that your boss or your supervisor gets your message if you're going to be out for 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay, so if you just send an email, you're just going to say, I sent you an email, or you going to make sure that that person got that email by calling them or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And y'all are the same way. When y'all work somewhere, it works the same way. You don't just go by one avenue of communication. You always follow up and say, hey, Mr. So-and-so, did you get my email about me being out for 2 weeks? You know. And anyway, to make a long story short, if that person had followed my directions and texted me and said, Hubert, I missed the first unit test. My son was sick. He's had, what's that called? Rotavirus, and he was out for a week, or blah, 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 blah. I would have been glad to reset the test. But she tried to blame me for her missing 2 tests, 7 days to take a test, and she missed 2 of them. Okay? The point is, communicate with me. I throw all these things up here to communicate with me. And of course, my department head, the first thing my department head said was, well, if he didn't contact you, why didn't you contact me? It's really weird. How do you miss 2 unit tests out of 4? Anyway, so that's the way to contact me. And there's a little bit about myself, and that's the only reason I do that is for the comfortable environment. To let you know, I'm not no academia, ivory tower, silver spoon person. Okay, because some of you may run into some of those type of instructors in college academia. Some of you may run into them. I don't know. Some of you might. I don't know. Some of you might not. And I got 2 children. I got an 11-year-old and a 19-year-old. And they know everything. So I don't know anything. They know it all. Any of y'all got kids, y'all know what I'm talking about. All right, I'll shut up. Next thing. My class, or Hubert's class courtesies. My class is pretty much laid back. Okay? Has anybody had me before? I don't think anybody in here's had me, have you? Miss Johnson, y'all hadn't had me before. Heck, y'all in Oconee. Y'all ain't never seen me before. All right?
Never.
Huh? So, any of y'all gone on Rate My Professor?
Yes.
Don't tell me. I don't want to know. I'll tell you what my class is like because I'm scared to death of Rate My Professor. All right. Hubert's rule. Hubert's rule is like the golden rule. I treat students like I want to be treated. I don't think I'll have a problem here. I mean, most of the time, an afternoon or an evening class, older students means more respect, more decorum. So usually I don't have to worry about that with the afternoon class. Cell phones. I have a cell phone. It goes off. It went off a while ago. Y'all didn't go into cardiac arrest. Am I going to go off in cardiac arrest? No. Again, a lot of you have common sense. I have 3 numbers in here: my mother, my daughter, and my son. If one of those numbers come up, I know something is wrong, especially during the day. So I go outside and answer it in the hallway. Same thing for y'all. If you have something you need to text, if you have something you need to take care of, that's what the phone is for. Go outside in the hallway, take care of it. You don't have to ask. You don't have to say anything. Just silently get up and answer your phone. It's not a big deal. This is not online class. It's basically a conventional class. It's piped out to several locations. All right? We're about 5 or 6 years behind, but we're catching up. And there's a lot of businesses that do this without any problem. And it's not a bad deal, especially since there's only 3 people here. This class would not have made in Anderson. And since there are only 3 people there, this class would not have made in Oconee. But together, they will make. And that's the whole point of doing this delivery system. Okay? Attendance policy. The first 2 weeks, I'll probably take attendance. Therefore, after 2 weeks, I'm not a big fan of doing attendance every day. And plus, this class is so small that I know if you're here or not. So, no problem there. Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb here, Miss Johnson.
Okay.
You said you went up. Did you look me up on Rate My Professor?
I didn't look you up, not yet. No.
Okay, good. Then I'll just say what I think my class is. All right, I think my class is laid back. I think anybody you speak to will say that I'm fair. I'm laid back, but I don't like being taken advantage of. And there's 2 types of people in the world. There's givers and what? Takers. And usually the givers are the ones that get taken advantage of. All right? But I try to keep an eye out for that. Again, this is an afternoon class, so I usually probably don't have to worry about that. I generalize when I speak. So if I say y'all, that does not mean I'm talking about you 3 at the Oconee campus or these 3 here. I'm saying y'all as students in general. All right? I don't sit at home, twist my mustache, and say, how can I embarrass Miss Johnson today? I don't sit at home and do that kind of stuff, all right? So, and listen, if you're a snowflake, a buttercup, or a daisy, I'm sorry. You might as well just drop me right now, because I don't go into that offended, here I'm offended over this and I'm offended over that. I don't get into that. So I had a woman walk up to me one day and say, I'm offended. I said, why are you offended? And they said, you use Judgment Day on your test. Judgment Day. It's the name of a Terminator movie. Judgment Day. And she made it out that I was being sacrilegious. I said, Lord have mercy, I was born a Southern Baptist and still am a Southern Baptist. And you're going to call me sacrilegious? And she said, well, I'm offended because you put September the 11th, 2001 on your test. And I don't think that's very reverent. I said, well, how do you feel about December 7th, 1941? You know what she asked? What is that? She had no clue what that was. Usually snowflakes are those people that they can't spell mom backwards, much less explain anything. All right. Hubert's typical class. Different, fun, comfortable. I try to make it comfortable. I do know that sometimes students make it uncomfortable, so y'all don't need to make it uncomfortable. Miss Johnson, you don't need to make this class uncomfortable.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. and Miss Phillips, Y'all gonna have to sit closer to the camera because y'all sitting back there. I know what y'all are doing. Y'all hiding behind Miss Johnson. Y'all need to come on up toward the camera next time, okay? Next class. You with me?
Yes, sir.
Y'all settle down, okay? What irritates me? What irritates me is know-it-alls. You ever met some of these people? You ever been in a college psychology class before?
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be somebody in that classroom that is a psychiatrist, and it's not the teacher. You ever met or nursing? If y'all sit in a nursing class, there's always going to be a nursing assistant that's been in nursing assistant for 115 years and going to tell the instructor about nursing. Okay? People don't like to hear that, especially if you're in an environment of learning. Okay? You don't want to hear that. So usually, the old saying is when you think you ought to say something, if you ain't got anything to say nice, don't say it. Well, if you get that feeling that you need to keep your mouth shut, chances are it's probably right. Okay? So go with that feeling, especially if it pertains to psychology. I'm just kidding. But I give you some examples there. And usually in math and psychology and nursing, that's where I've seen most. You ever see anybody think they know how to do physics? No. Nobody ever, okay, I know how to do physics. Nobody does that because that would be just plain weird. All right? But anyway, nobody's hopefully going to take physics. What kind of stuff irritates you? We got a small class. What kind of stuff irritates you in a classroom? Loud people like me?
No, you're the exception.
Okay, Anderson said loud people. What about you? What about you two? Anything? What irritates you in a college classroom?
Talking when you're talking.
Talking when the teacher's talking? What about you? Loud people. Okay, well then y'all might as well drop my class. What about y'all? What about y'all in Oconee?
Texting.
Texting. That gets on your nerves?
It distracts me.
Oh. What about you, Mr. and Miss Phillips?
I don't know.
Okay, they're not going to talk. Might as well forget that. They just might as well forget it. Miss Johnson, you know why I'm picking on you all the time now, don't you?
Yeah, that's okay.
No, they're not going to talk.
Yeah, I'm used to it. It's fine.
All right. So that's people have their pet peeves, and mine is the know-it-alls. I don't like them because usually they're pretty arrogant. All right, let me get out of that. Okay, your syllabus. Here's your syllabus. So let's pull that up. Syllabus is worthless because it's got a bunch of words you can't understand. The only thing you need to worry about is the last line, the last page. Okay, you need to worry about this page. Go ahead and write this down. These two things right here. Well, where's the percentages? They don't have the percentages. Huh. I'll write it on the board.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
The percentages?
Yeah, I think so.
What page is it on? I didn't see it.
39.
All right, I'll write it right here. It's not a big deal. For those of you that don't have one, this is important. And 80% of your grade will come from your test. And 20% of your grade will come from what else? Huh? Homework. Well, if I did, it would be 10%. And make that note. 10% is quizzes because I give y'all a bonus question that says what is Hubert's weighted, and it has quizzes in there, but I don't give quizzes in Math 155 unless y'all want me to give y'all quizzes. How about weekly quizzes? What do y'all think?
I'm good.
Then Phillips, they don't say anything. Okay. We ask anything about Oconee, it's going to be 1 to 2 One person's going to talk, two persons are not going to talk. Okay. 80% grade test average, 20% grade comes from the homework. Everybody good with that? And your grading scale's over there. Now all you need to do is print out the last page because all the rest of the syllabus is worthless. Okay, so print out the last page. Well, let me just go down. I can't. And the last page, if you've got a notebook with plastic on the outside of it, then you need to print out this last page and you need to put that in your notebook. That's the most important page out of all the handouts that I've given you is right there. Why is it important?
That's all the units we're going to go
It's everything that we're going to cover. Therefore, if you're absent, go ahead and mark this out. I'm not going to go over that. That's just a waste of time. So go ahead and mark that out. I'm not going to cover estimation because all of y'all are adults, and I'm not going to insult your intelligence by asking you to estimate 28. Is it closer to 20 or is it closer to 30? I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing that. Also, I want you to put here autopilot. I may open that up and let y'all work on it on your own. And a lot of you saying, well, Hubert, you ain't worth the flip. No, that's not what, I'm not lazy. I mean, I was born and raised on a dairy farm and now I run a beef cattle farm. I ain't lazy, all right? The reason I want to put that on autopilot is because if I let y'all, and plus, what do y'all learn in K through 12 when you go to K through 12 school? You learn all that stuff. And I'm not going to sit here and ask you, what does a stop sign represent? Okay? In 8.2, that's, okay, what has four sides? A square or a rectangle. What is a polygon? What is a pentagon? What is I'm not going to go over 8.2. I'm sorry. That, to me, is going to insult your intelligence. Same way with perimeter and area. There's one of them that asks you what an arrow with a dot on the end of it is. That's a line segment. There's a lot of stuff in Unit 3 that you can read and you can answer. But I ain't figured out exactly what I'm going to do with Unit 3 yet. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But another reason I don't want to insult your intelligence, that's one reason. The second reason is that Unit 4 is more important. What do you mean Unit 4 is more important? Well, let's say, Miss Johnson, what is your major?
Early childhood.
Okay. So she might come back. She might come back and get an education major or something, and she might have to take Math 120. Okay? Unit 4 is Unit 1 and 2 in Math 120. You see what I'm saying? It's also Unit 1 and Unit 2 in Math 103. That's number 2, because it'll get you ready for another class where number 3 won't. All right? The third reason I want you to learn Unit 4 besides Unit 3 is because Unit 4 is going to be on a lot of your standardized testing in college. Okay? Because it's talking about probability and statistics. Now, you will see a lot of Unit 3 on there, but where have you seen Unit 3 before on standardized testing? In school. No matter how old you are, you've seen this material in Unit 3 before. And I guarantee you that there's somebody in here that's probably never seen probability or statistics before, as far as an academic setting. All right? You may have heard of the average, yeah. But if I asked you what a frequency distribution is, what would you tell me? Okay? So I want you to be exposed to more of Unit 4 than Unit 3 because you've been exposed to Unit 3 all your life. Okay? So that's why I kind of skip over Unit 3. But you need to print this out and you need to put it in your notebook because it's 150% important Because if I do 5.1 Wednesday, then what am I going to cover Monday? 5.2. If I covered 5.2 Monday and Wednesday, then I need to, because then I'm probably going to be covering 5.3 the next Monday. And if you missed Monday, then you know that you need to cover 5.3 and you get ready for 5.7. Do not text me, do not email me, do not call me and ask me, what did I go over today in class? There's 2 reasons why you should not ask me that. Why? Give me one reason. Well, you have this handout right here. What's the other reason? What did I click on when I started this class? I clicked on what? Let me find it. Well, y'all didn't see me because y'all not in the Anderson campus. I clicked on what? What's that word right there? Anderson campus? Recording. What am I doing right now? I'm recording the class. And where am I going to put it? YouTube. So you should be able, and I'm going to show you how to go to YouTube and find all that in the next handout. People, I cover all the excuses. Okay, I cover all of them. And that's why that student that I was telling you about at the beginning of the class, or a while ago, my department head was just shaking her head and said, Hubert, you give more chances to students than any other teacher here at Tri-County Tech in the math department. There is no, I'm not going to say what she said, there is no way that she could miss those tests. No way. Unless she was just out of the country, out of consciousness, or something. I mean, 2-unit tests, it just blew her mind. And then, something else, I give everybody a week at the end of the semester, and I open up everything. I open up your tests, your homework, and why do I open up everything? 2 reasons. 1, in case you missed something, and 2, in case you made a bad grade on the homework and you want to go back and do it over. So how could you miss 2-unit tests, 7 days to take a test, and I give you a week and I open up everything for you to do anything that you missed or do something over? Can somebody explain to me how you miss a test with those 2 things in
You're lazy. It's pretty much it.
Non-cognitive is all I can say. But anyway, I just blows my mind. Y'all, that was Miss Johnson. It was her. She was taking a class last semester.
Yep.
Just
me.
Huh?
That was me.
What? Yeah, it was you. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the handout. You're good to go. Boom. Everybody should put that in your handy dandy notebook. Everybody got a handy dandy notebook, right?
Blue's Clues.
That's it. In my handy dandy notebook. Dang old Blue's Clues. Dang old cocaine addict. All right. You know that's some urban. He wasn't. You know why they asked him to leave the show? The first guy. What was his name? Steve?
Yeah.
Hey, he was a good. The other guy wasn't no good. You know why they asked him to leave the show?
He was going bald.
Yep. He was losing his hair. And he couldn't come across as a kid with, I guess a toupee wouldn't have worked. And he was losing, and he's got his own band or managing a band. That's what he does now. He manages a band, a rock band or something like that. He's not dead. He didn't overdose on cocaine. What?
Yeah,
Everybody's sitting, and then there's all kind. Where do people get this stuff? All right. My Labs Plus handout sheet. There it is. I'm not going to go over a lot of this because you can read, but I will cover one thing, and that is write down that number right there. 888-883-1299. 883-1299. That is the that is technical support for MyLabs Plus. If you have a problem with your computer, if you can pull up your stuff in the computer lab down there, but you can't pull up stuff on your computer at home, that's who you call. Okay? Also, if you have any trouble with Tri-County Tech stuff, like your TCTC password or anything with Blackboard, call this number. It's called the help desk. 646-1779. Don't call down there with attitude, because these are computer people. They'll get attitude right with you back. Okay? They have job security. Nobody's going to, they got job security. All right? So don't get attitude. If you be nice to them, they'll be nice to you. And call them and tell them if you have any problems with whatever you have problems with on the TCTC side. Now, if you're on the Pearson side or the MyLabs Plus side, you need to call the 1-888-883-1299 number. And that's with passwords, usernames, or configuration of your computer. With Tri-County Tech, that is with passwords or with Blackboard.
I got a question.
Yes.
This is what shows up whenever she goes to hers too. It's just blank. That's what mine.
Did you go through Blackboard? Okay, in just a minute I'll show you what I think's happened in there, and I hope it'll. And hold on just a minute. Let me get out of this.
You have a work email.
There. All right, let me get out of this, and we're going to YouTube. Well, I'll just pull up YouTube instead of going to that. Give me a second, y'all. I got to move this over. Okay, when you pull up YouTube, you pull up Hubert McClure, and you're going to see a picture, pink shirt. Just remember pink shirt. Not blue shirt, pink shirt. All right? And when you click on it, you go to playlist. Go down about middle of the page. You go down to playlist. I have to go to library. When you hit library or playlist, this is what you get. All right? This is, there they are. There's the Math 110. I have to go back upstairs and do the Math 120. No, there's the 120, the 103. Okay, here's two that I did today and yesterday. Let's see if this works. I don't think it will. Nope, it says deleted. I didn't delete anything. It makes me mad. Some damn Russians. All right. Everything's the Russians' fault. Okay. Anyway, there's that one. All right. So why do I show you all this stuff? I show you this because today, when I get through, I'm going to load this video for those that miss. If you miss a day, you can always go to Hubert McClure, pink shirt, and yours will be called Fall 2018-10 Math 155. And you can look at what we went over today. Now do you see why I don't answer that question, what do we go over today? Because one, you have your outline, and two, what do you have? You have the videos. Now I know you gotta type on Google. You gotta click on Google. That's one click, and then you have to click on the menu bar. That's another click, and then you have to type in. Oh my God! You have to type in my name. How many letters is that? 6. There's 13 letters in a space, or 14 letters in a space, and then you have to click on what is it called? Playlist or library, and then you have to click on the class, and then you have to click on which video it is. That's 6 clicks of the button. I know that's a lot of work, but I am very confident that y'all will succeed in those 7 clicks. Anderson campus and Oconee campus, I'm very confident. It's a lot of work. Have y'all picked up on my sarcasm yet?
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. what is it, Paquito or Benito? Which one is it? Paquito? One of them's pretty and one of them's little. Which one is it?
Pretty little.
Pretty little? There we go. Paquito, Benito. Pretty little. All right. Now let's go over to your freebies. Let's go over to Office Portal, and you might want to write this down because this is free stuff. Well, it's not free. Nothing's free. Let me rephrase that. Hold on a second. Why do they keep going out when... Y'all see that? We're laughing at y'all, Coney. Y'all keep disappearing whenever I do something on this. I don't understand. It only does it with Google. See? When I go to Google, they disappear. Oh well. We all know what it is. Oh, Skype did it too. Oh, it just does something weird. I'm just looking to see why it's doing that. Okay, I'll shut up. All right, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to go to, and write this down. It's called Office Portal. You're going to get to this screen right here. Make sure you type in the Microsoft Office. Make sure you click on that one, Microsoft Office, and sign in. And you're going to use your Tri-County Tech credentials, HMCCLURE at tctc.edu. What should it do next? After you hit work or school account, because that's what it is, it'll send you to the Tri-County Tech website. After you put your password in, whatever your password is at Tri-County Tech, it'll send you to the download site where you can download up to 5 devices. 5 devices of Windows and Skype for Business. 5. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good stuff. 5. So your phone, your laptop, your iPhone, your iPad, whatever. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Chasing after wild women tonight, I guess. I don't know. All right. Anybody got any questions about the portal? That's how you get Skype. And Skype, make sure you put Skype for Business, not Skype. Skype for Business. When I say Skype, I mean Skype for Business. Skype for Business is what we run on this. So if you get sick or you're getting your car serviced and you can't make it to class, you can Skype in. If you do it 2 weeks in a row, I'm going to say something. It's only used for emergencies. Okay? Next, My Labs Plus. I'm going to go to Blackboard. I don't use Blackboard, but I'm going to Blackboard for 2 reasons. Okay. tctc.edu. All right, I'm going to go to Blackboard. Okay, it's already remembered me. All right, what are y'all? 155 what? Somebody look on your schedule. What are y'all? Does anybody know? 155 dash blah, blah, blah. What is it?
003.
003. There you are. And look at there. We got an announcement right here. My announcements.
Mine's 0052.
Okay, yeah, because y'all are Anderson campus. Same thing. Okay, same page. Click on that. And let's read that to yourself. Now, why do y'all think I have this in caps and I have it in big, bold-ass letters? Why do you think that? So you don't miss it. Somebody, not in this class, but somebody is going to call me or text me or email me this weekend, and you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, Mr. McClure, I can't find any of your test or homework on Blackboard. Okay? That's why I put that on there. All right? I do this every semester. I put it on there. People don't read it, and they get mad, and then they call my department head because I don't respond. I don't respond because I don't need to, because that question is, I'm not going to say it's stupid, but I've already covered it. There it is. I covered it right there. Anyway, here's where you click on the My Labs Plus. Now watch this. I want y'all to see this because y'all were asking the question. Click on there and then click on here. Now as soon as I click on here, you're going to see something come up down at the bottom. Watch. Look at there. Show all content. You got to look for it because it'll disappear. Hit that. Also, up in the top right-hand corner of your address bar, right in here somewhere, you might see a X, a red X, meaning that you need to allow for your pop-ups. Do you see it?
Hers doesn't do all that. Mine doesn't either.
Is there something in the address bar up here? It looks like an X. Well, when you see that X, you need to right-click on it and allow for pop-ups. You probably have some malware or some security wear on your computer. So do you. You might need to disable it. And other than that, that is a technical support question that y'all need to call Pearson. Okay, because those are the only two shortcuts that I know. One, you need to hit Show All Content, or two, you need to right-click on your... Did you do it?
Yeah, she got it.
Okay, so you need to watch for that too. Or what was it, X? Did you see it?
It looks like a box with a heart.
Okay. Okay, a box with a heart.
It's like a little shield.
Okay, a shield. Write that down. It could be a shield. Oh, God. What other icons are there? Okay, so anyway, there's that. Now, look at here. When you get to your, look at, what's that right there? Math 155 syllabus and handouts. Oh my gosh, it's even on your page. So you can't use the excuse what? I didn't get the email. That was used at the end of the semester, last semester too. I didn't get the email. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not going through all that because that's pretty self-explanatory. But I do put a lot of bonus questions. I'll let you see those. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I go to test. I don't know if I enabled this test or not. Yeah, I did. Click on the test. We'll go over this Wednesday also. I just want you to see some of the questions. Half the questions are math questions. Half the questions are students in the past asking stupid attitude questions at the end of the semester. Here's one. If you look at your overall grade in quotation marks one day, and it has decreased from several days ago, what has happened? D? Golly, you're using common sense. These are questions. That question right here. Why did my grade go down? Well, you got a 0 for not turning in your last section of homework. Oh, I didn't know I'd get a 0. What do you think you're going to get if you don't do the work? I will take B. Hubert and Russia have conspired against me. I will take that. I will count that one. There's a math question. There's a math question. Does Hubert replace your lowest test grade with your final exam grade? Now look at those choices there, and I want you to tell me what pattern you see with the choices that I'm giving you. Y'all settle down. I can't hear y'all. What pattern do you see with my answers? That's not a trick question. It's pretty simple. Y'all just need to shout out the answer.
They're pretty obvious.
What pattern do you see with my answer pool?
The answer is D.
Okay, why?
Because it was the first time. Now it is too.
Because the other answers don't make what?
Make any sense?
Make any sense. So what do I technically do on each of these bonus questions?
Tell you.
I basically give you all the what? Do I still get people get them wrong? Those are the people that can't spell mom backwards and shouldn't procreate. All right, next. Math question. Second most missed question right here. Second most missed. Now, look at the question, and you'll know why I'm laughing. Why am I laughing at the second most missed question?
Because they're funny.
Well, yeah, but that's not why I'm laughing. But that's a good answer. Why am I laughing? Because this is the second most missed question. There's only one that has a true what? Email and what? Phone number. And it's the second most missed question.
Maybe they thought it was.
That's not going to explain the number one most missed question.
But someone does have that email, the Mickey Mouse one.
They probably have the 100 get a day. We had a guy on campus, on the Pendleton campus, and he would hand out cards that said, "I'm Dr. Love." What would you do if somebody walked up to you and gave you a card that said, "I'm Dr. Love"?
Run.
Yeah, that's what a lot of girls did. If you miss a question on a test and you believe it is correct, what do? This is called a challenge question. Let's say that, what's your last name? Miss Willis decides to take the test, and she takes the test, and she missed one question, and the one question she missed, the answer was 1/2, and she put 0.5. Then what does she need to do? Scream and throw a temper tantrum? Ask Hubert if he can meet with me after class or vice versa? Send several emails to Hubert with the last one saying, "Hello?" Or call Hubert's office 5 or 6 times. How about B? Usually, is that an emergency in relation to your grade? Yes or no? Not really, it's not. What I mean by an emergency with your grade. Emergency with your grade is you're going to get a 0 or you're fixing to get a 0. Okay, that's an emergency. This would not be an emergency. If you have a question like this, don't worry about it, because 90% of the time I give it to you. The only time I do not give it to you is a contextual directions. If the contextual directions are there and it's like screaming that you need to write it as a decimal and you write it as a fraction or vice versa, then I might balk on you, but I'll still give you half credit or something like that. So you're going to get credit for it. It's just dependent upon the context of the question and the directions that are given. But that's the challenge question. Next question. That's scientific notation. Although covered in this is the newest question that I talked to you about, the student that missed the test. Although covered in several handouts and first day of class video by Hubert, what is the best way to communicate with Hubert? Cell phone. Again, what is significant about these answers, the answer pool here? C is the only what?
One that makes sense.
It's the only one that makes sense. Some people don't even know what a carrier. I had somebody ask me that this morning. I said, "Ask your parents." I said, "It's their fault." Next, multiplication. If you take several forms of a test in Hubert's class, how is it counted? Now, the reason it could be A or B, but I do go over this before the test. And it is B, as in Bravo. Okay? I drop your lowest 2 test grades. You take it 3 times, I drop your lowest 2. You take it 2 times, I drop the lowest 1. No, I do not average them. That's too much work. It is when you have 30-something students. Or not 30, but 120 or 150. That's math. Why does Hubert not entertain extra points, extra credit, or drop in any grades the last week of the semester? What's the only, I'll take D as an answer. D is in Delta. But besides D, which one is it? B is in Bravo. Next question. Math. When is the last day of class? Here's where you're going to get offended. When is the last day of class for this semester? C. Number 1 most missed question of the bonus questions. Tell me why. What's the most missed? What do you think they picked?
I don't know.
They picked D. Why is it wrong? 100% mathematical question. What?
It doesn't equal 100.
Doesn't equal 100. So the answer is A. If a student does not complete a homework assignment or test, what grade will be recorded for that assignment? This question came from a student. At the end of the semester, their grade went down from an A to a C because they didn't do half the homework. Didn't do a quarter of the homework. And they said, I didn't know you were going to put in zeros for those things that I didn't do. Have y'all met anybody like this before? Have y'all met somebody like this that just says, I don't understand why you put a 0 in for work not done? Miss Johnson, if you clean a business or a house and you don't do a good job, what happens?
Don't get paid.
What a concept. I don't understand where these people think they get 0, zilch, nada. Snowflake, I'll take snowflake. What should a student do if something happens and they are out of class for a while? Like a funeral, or a high school event, or a wreck? Just miss assignments. Blame it on the Russians. Wait until after grade turn in and turn on the DAD syndrome. That's dumb attitude disorder. B. Math. Now, you can look at this question and tell which one's the right answer. B, exactly. If you're in your grade book, to find your final grade, that should be a your. Find your final grade after you have completed all the assignments. What should you choose? Student comes up to me the week of finals or the week after the finals, and guess what they ask me? How do I find my grade? I have no idea. So I don't do the grades. It doesn't. Only thing I do is teach. What a concept. The teacher that teaches. When does the homework terminate? Toward the end of the unit material, when Hubert sets the date in My Labs Plus during the class. I'll pull the test up and go over it in class. Then after we do it in class, I will set the dates on it. And then after I set the dates on the test, what do you think I'm going to set the dates on after that? The homework. Math question. If you have incomplete assignments and Hubert puts a 0 in for grade, what will happen to your grade if I do that? I had a student, I told him, I said, well, I put a 0 in for those grades that you missed. Well, does that affect my grade? Anybody want to be a teacher? Didn't you say early childhood?
Yes, sir.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
They don't ask questions though, do they? They don't ask those
Not
types of
much.
questions. They just
Somebody's
ask,
gotta
you
do
know, yeah, they just ask simple, was this a butterfly or a worm question? That's all it is. When is the week of finals? There's only one answer. And don't be offended. Some of y'all might have to Google that date to see what that date is, like she did. She had no idea what that date was. I said, are you offended by December 7th, 1941? She looked at me and goes, what's that? That's it. So you see that I take those questions that are asked throughout the semester and I put those on the test. And I put them on every single test. Excuse me. You remember the question that said, let me go back. I'm going to give you a story about this one. And I'll let y'all go. I know some of y'all are about to have a fit and go into cardio infarction. But I'm going to go back here. I'm going to show you a question. Which one said nada? No, that's not it. It's the one about dropping, I think it was number 2 or 3 or something like that. Give me a second. There it is. All right. Does Hubert replace your lowest test grade with your final exam grade? All right, I want you to read that question 2 or 3 times to yourself. All right. Student come to me after grade turn in, after we turned in the grades and after they were posted. All right, everybody with me? This student did not come to class half the time. The student, when he did come to class, he came in with no notebook, no pencil, no paper, no book, no anything. Just walked in like a deadhead. Okay? Sits down, plays on his phone the whole time I'm teaching. Then he comes up to me after grade turn in. He made a D or an F. I can't remember. And he says, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, what? Because he did that deadhead type. Oh, God, I can't stand that. I told my son, if you ever talk like that, me and you going to have prayer meetings. All right. And he said, I got to transfer that grade, and that's an F. I said, well, that's what you made. Well, I thought you said we could replace our lowest grade with our final exam, and I made a 72 on the final exam. I said, I never said that. Yeah, it is on your test. I said, what test? He said, those bonus questions. You asked the question, does Hubert replace your lowest test grade with a final exam? I said, yeah, I do ask that question. Well, I want to replace my grade. I said, how did you answer it? And he just sat there and looked at me with this dumbass look on his face like, uh-huh. He didn't say anything. I said, no way, no how. No, that ain't what it says. How many unit tests do we have? 4. How many times is this question on that test? Once. 4 times 1 is what? 4 times he got this question, and he tried to come back and say that I said that I replaced the final exam with your lowest grade. Y'all see why I put these questions on here now? I put them on here because these are questions that the DAs ask after the semester's over. So I try to cover them. Any questions? Okay, well, I've done enough damage for today. Anybody got any questions? I want you to do 2 things while you're home or, between now and Wednesday. Number 1, I want you to get the access code. Get it at bookstore, or get it online, or get it with your book. Get registered on to My Labs Plus. That's all I want you to do. And the second thing I want you to do is get all your supplies, your notebooks, whatever you need for this class, get those. Okay? Now, who's got questions?
Do we need a book? Would you
The
say
book, you can use an old book, you can share a book, you can steal a book, whatever you want. Okay?
Is this
What
the
you
right
bring
one?
to class, yeah, that's it. Now,
Okay.
what you bring to class is up to you. Now, Miss Johnson, you may not want to bring that to class every day. Then you just print out what you want to offline. It's because when you have an access code, you have access to the ebook online and you can print it out by section.
Okay.
So before you make that decision, don't unwrap that book because you may take it back. Does it have the access code with it?
I don't know. A friend gave it to me.
It's actually
It's through
cheaper.
the Instagram, because I got one.
It's actually cheaper on My Labs than it is.
Yeah, it's about $15, $20 cheaper
Right.
online.
That saves $20 in my pocket.
Yeah, she said that it's in the middle of the book. Okay. So
And it's
that's
cheaper that
something you
way?
need to decide, because if you've got the book online, why do you need the book? That's a preference more than a choice. Okay. So you do whatever you want to, Miss Johnson. Okay.
Okay.
If you want to use that book, that's fine. If you want to print it off, that's fine. Anybody else got a question?
Are we able to work ahead?
No, I don't do that because that causes problems for the other students. Okay? I tried that once before. Didn't work out very well. So just hang back and wait until we catch up to you. Okay? Any other
all you
questions?
ask for?
I'm sorry, say again?
Is that all you ask for, is that textbook?
Is that all I asked? What'd she say? I
Is that all you want us to have, is the textbook?
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't care what you bring to class. Just don't be a deadhead. Bring paper and pencil, and you're gonna need a calculator later on. TI, something that does statistics and probability. But as far as the book goes, that's up to you. Okay? Any other questions? All right, y'all have a good day, and I'll see y'all Wednesday.